Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. We are your hosts, Jessica Milagros and Kemi. Hannah is just running a tad bit late. So while we wait for her, just letting you all know, if you don't already, click like, subscribe, click to receive the notifications so that you know when we are on air. We're on every Tuesday. I believe we're going to be doing every Tuesday night after the Bachelorette episodes. We did a nice little poll on Twitter and on YouTube, and it seems that these are better days, so we will be doing that. Also, Super Chat is a great way to support us in the channel. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Everybody in the comments, let us know that you're here. Say hi. This was a very interesting episode. Kemi, how are you doing?
I'm sorry, but we all know that I am one with daddy issues, and I feel like Nate is solving them.
Is that something we all know? Is that something we all know? I don't think it's something we all know.
The way I talk about how much I hate men, it should be fairly obvious. Like, yeah, Nate is solving these for me. I mean, he was definitely giving daddy vibes tonight, and you truly do love to see it. Like, I think we'll get into all of this, but I think the best part of this episode is how the producers decided to edit it, basically. So we have in Michelle's one-on-one date with Rodney, she talks about how she wants to feel protected in a relationship and feel safe. And then at the tail end of the episode, we have Nate being very protective and safe, and she doesn't even see it. It's like just his nature towards her, and it's not performative at all because she doesn't even see it. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I really hope that ends up being the couple at the end, because they just seem to really fit, and I feel like they don't even know how well they fit yet. So yeah.
There are some things that are a little bit foreshadowing, I feel like. I mean, I'm not quite sure. We're not there yet. It's still pretty early on in the season. So, but there are a few. There are a few of these just some of the men that I really like seeing her with. I know Deborah said Rodney. Erica says they cut out some of Nate's scenes again. I'm sure that they did. It's not Nate's time yet. I think Nate's gonna be really heavy at the very, very end. You know, I want to say like the end half of, once the men start to dissipate. But overall, if you were to give your scale 1 to 10 on how the episode was, what would you give it?
I would give it a 9. I really enjoyed this episode. I feel like, once again, they are packing a lot into 2 hours, and I didn't have to look away for any second of it. So I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was a good mix of things. It gave you a little bit of drama. It gave you a little bit of that moment of like getting to see each individual, and it gave us a lot of background on Michelle. Probably, I mean, every time I think I can't love this woman even more, and it's like, whoa, you're so amazing. I love her. So let's start with it, right? So roses were given. Let's start from the beginning. Oh yeah, so Erica's like, I give this an 8. I'm gonna give this an 8. Well, Kemi gave it a 9, but I'm gonna give it an 8 with you, Erica, because I think that it was a good episode, and I really feel like there's a lot of character development.
There is.
In this. So we're really starting to get to know some of these men, and ultimately I really like that, aside from a couple of them, I think they're there for the right reasons.
I think so as well. There are a few men that I just don't think are a good fit for Michelle, but I think that for the most part, everyone's there for the right reasons.
Yeah. So, we started with roses were given, and she was hurt after her conversation with Jaime. That's kind of where it ended. At this point, nobody knows who the rat is, right? And then we start with the they said 2 group dates, 1 one-on-one. And then we go automatically into our first group date.
Yeah, so this airplane date, here's my thing, right? Like, I feel like we just saw this with Pilot Pete. So I don't know why we're seeing it so soon again, but I didn't hate it, I guess. I don't really understand the point of certain dates. Like, was the little like roller coaster type thing supposed to be fun? Like, maybe put you on edge? I don't know. But I did like um what is his name? Will. I liked his interaction with Michelle in that moment. I did like how he one-upped the Italian and then kind of flipped and said like, "Oh, Michelle's like, do you need a bucket?" And he's like, "I need you." Like, what? I love shit like that. So, if I was Michelle, I would have been, feeling butterflies or something. But yeah, that's when we first saw Will and Peter starting to revive their rivalry. And I don't know, a lot of it just seems very immature, especially on Peter's end.
Yeah.
Um, but Will, I have a soft spot for Will. He looks just like my high school ex. So I
Oh.
can't. So yeah.
I mean, I think I don't know if I said this before. Anybody in the comments, if you have a particular opinion about Will in particular, I don't really care. I don't really care for him. I don't know. There's a vibe that he's giving me that's kind of, I don't know. It's a little extra, but what is she talking about? Yeah. But I do, first of all, let me say by how cool and sexy she looked coming off the plane. I swear I'm sound like this is just, I want Michelle. That's basically it. I'm full-blown lesbian at this point. No, but she's so gorgeous coming out, so cool, so calm and collective. Obviously the men were dying thinking that, I mean, I'm sure if a woman comes off of a plane like that so effortlessly, I mean, everybody thinks that she's like so sexy.
Yeah.
And I first of all, love Jay Ellis. So I was just like,
I
love that
know.
man. I love that man. For those of you who don't watch Insecure, watch it. Hey, Hannah.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. So do you guys.
Yeah, so we were just getting into the first date, the group date. We were just
Okay.
talking about, Michelle coming off of the plane and,
Mhm.
people's the men's impression of her.
She looks so cute in her little like cargo jumpsuit thing. I thought it was adorable. She looks so
Yeah.
cute in that.
Oh,
I
before
think
we go any further, Hannah, the for the show in general, this episode, 1 out of 10, what would you give it in terms of the episode overall?
I would say like a 9, an 8 or a 9.
Okay. See, so we're all Kemi said 9, I said 8. There's some people in the chats that are saying, 8. Yeah.
I feel like it was a well-rounded Bachelorette episode. We had a lot of drama, but then we had a lot of like, it was like a good drama in a way, like it gets resolved. I like
Mhm.
that. And then we get, some romance with some guys that I really enjoy so far. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like you get like a mix of all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was, like, kind of the pinnacle Bachelorette episode, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like it like so far her season hasn't left us feeling like bored or like gross. I feel like some of the past like few Bachelorette, um, Bachelor in Paradise season, like you get off the episode and you're like, ugh, or like it's like exhausting to get through kind of. And right
Mhm.
now, after all the episodes, I'm just like, oh, I can't wait till next week. I can't wait to see more, like who's styling her. I might have to look it up, like what's going on. So that's Great.
Yeah, I don't think it's, like, too yeah, some of them in the past, I feel like it's just kind of like you said, it's hard to get through in a way, and I feel like these ones I think the episodes fly by. I had to look at my phone after a minute to see, like, the schedule for, like, the cable TV thing because I was like, is it has it only been an hour? Like, how I thought, like, it was only it was just, like, going by super quick,
Yeah.
so
It definitely did that for me too. I was kind of very surprised. Yeah, so we're talking about just the date overall. Obviously, getting on this G4 simulator. I mean, you always I feel like this is like the macho man part, like I don't know exactly why I would want my date to go on a G4 simulator while telling me how he feels. Like it
they always do this shit. I don't get it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it because I am the person that like takes the motion sickness medicine before they get on the plane. Like I am that person. And so when what's his name was like what is his name that was freaking out? Who's supposed to be
will
Will.
will
When Will is freaking out, I was like, deep breaths, Will. You can do it. Like you got this. I always just like panic.
I
Not
don't
gonna
have
sing.
any I don't have any issues with a lot of that motion stuff, but I did think, and like Erica said, she's like, they look nice. They look nice in their pilot suits. I
Yeah.
think it was like a cool, like, and it was just that cool moment where everybody just looked like very, I don't know. They all looked really hot and cute. And yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I got out of it, aside from obviously the Peter Will beef. And it, I posted it on my Twitter. I find Peter at that moment like to be the epitome of toxic masculinity. It was it was just so very unnecessary how
Yeah.
he went from, and of course a major red flag, on how you go from like 0 to 12, and you decide that on a season where you're trying to win the girl, you think winning the girl is going to be throwing the jacket that she gave a guy into a pool.
I mean, it was very much giving Bad Girls Club. I'm not sure why. Like, I don't understand what his goal was. Like, what was the end result of that? Like, okay, you threw the jacket into the pool. Okay, one rinse cycle, get rid of like a little bit of chlorine, and then like a dry cycle, and then we're back to the beginning because he still won. So I don't understand. There has to be an end goal, and what was it?
Mhm.
To piss him off? It just makes you look bad. So
I thought it was so interesting to see how the men on this date handled that though, because I feel like a lot of times there is like one villain that's like that, like Peter or whatever. But I do think that a lot of times the men play into it in a way and like egg it on. And I feel like the men on this season, for the most part, like the ones on this date, are really not interested in like having these problems and they're like truly not trying to like stress Michelle out. And I
especially Nate.
yeah, especially Nate. He's like, let's just keep this at bay. This is not what is important right now. But props to Peter for not bring or not Peter to Will for deciding that he's just not going to bring it up because I don't feel like most people on this show would do that. I think most of them would be like, no, this is my time to like to shine in this
Yeah.
moment and to like have my 5 seconds on here. And I think it was like really mature because she's, I was just waiting for her, like, cause she's having her montage where she's like, I'm so happy that like we're back on track and things are back the way that they need to be. I was just waiting for somebody to be like, well, actually,
Yeah.
this, da da da, da. And it didn't happen. And I was like, wow, you guys
I
actually
felt
are like
yeah.
putting her first in this moment.
I think a
Yeah.
lot of the guys this season are a little bit older. Like, I think they're like late 20s, early 30s, which is a
Yeah.
nice nice age range. Because I feel like when you get into like the 22-year-old with most guys, it's hard to, like they're fresh out of college and like, I don't know. I feel like the thought behavior amongst men is very prevalent in that like age range. So they just act like crazy.
Yeah. They also don't have much experience
Oh,
with, I was gonna say they don't have much experience
I
with
thought that's where
like
you were going.
women. Where were you going with this?
No, I thought that's what you were saying. Like they don't have much like whatever. Yeah.
No, I mean, I felt really bad for Will because you could see that he was upset. He was crying in a way. He was crying, right? Those were tears, I feel like.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it just was like a stressful situation for him. Like I'm kind of that way where I mean it depends on the situation, but like where if I'm just like very overwhelmed and I'm like what the hell? Like what is the point of this? That I just cry. And it's not like a sad cry. It's just like I just need because he walked away, like he needed his space and I get it, I think he
Yeah.
handled it. Nate even said like, I think he handled it well, whatever. Yeah, I don't really know, like, I don't feel like there's that much else to say about it. I feel like the Peter and Will drama is, like, tired, though. Like, there's not
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's and we'll see later, but, like, I don't feel like it's a sustainable arc in the show because it's just, like, there was no, like, problem in the beginning, so it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
Yeah. Gregory said, I didn't watch Katie's season, but the ones from Bachelor in Paradise gave this kind of weird vibe. So seeing this much of a different group on Michelle's season is kind of nice. And I agree. I think we're going back to that place where men are there to be with the protagonist. Is like, okay, so these men, you can definitely tell a majority of them, not all, obviously, as we see a little later on, that they're not for Michelle, but that a majority are. Yeah, it's interesting because going back to Peter, it's like, dude, you're here calling Will a bully, and you legit threw his jacket into a pool. I still don't understand like the whole bully part. Like I get that he wrote your name down when he was asked to spell narcissist, but would you consider that bullying, really?
No, I think that word gets tossed around a lot, and it's such a it's such a hot word right now that if you call someone a bully, it typically sticks. So I feel like it's just an easy word to throw out, and like people just say it without even thinking much about it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think if anything, Peter is definitely the aggressor in most of the situations that involve Will. And I still even wouldn't call him a bully. He's just annoying, really. But yeah, I think that Will handles pretty much every situation with Peter like as well as anyone could. Yeah.
Agreed. So we go into this the one-on-one date, and this is with Rodney. Surprising. I don't know about y'all ladies, but I totally get friend vibes from Rodney. I was really surprised that he got a rose. Am I like the only person who was thinking
I
this?
don't.
No, you think so? You think they have?
I think he's so cute. Like, I think he looks like a teddy bear. Like, he's just adorable. Not in like I mean, he's got like a great like figure and everything. I don't mean like anything bad by that, but he just like his smile and everything. I just think he's adorable.
Yeah, he's a cute guy. It's funny. Was anybody surprised that they were eating on their first on their one-on-one date, like that they did? I thought they were going to be bobbing apples for apples. Seriously, I thought they were just going to milk this whole apple thing.
That food looked so cold. Like,
Yeah.
it was like giving me anxiety. I'm like, poor Michelle doesn't even know that a cold like French fry is about to go into her mouth. Like, poor thing. But I feel like this. I think tomorrow whenever they post the episode, I'm gonna go back and watch just the one-on-one date. Their dinner portion was just so sweet. I just feel like it definitely gave like a different dynamic to Rodney. I feel like at first I thought he was like this goofy guy who was just like lovable and like, he's just sweet and he's just so happy. And I love that. Like, I love when you can just tell someone's a genuinely happy person. But it was nice to see his serious side as well and see that he's not always like just goofy and he can, be vulnerable and like break down his walls and he can just like kind of turn it into a serious mode. I thought that was really sweet. And I thought the conversation itself was like super endearing. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he just is like, he seems very well-rounded. Like, I think he's got it all. I don't know. To me, it's like a different kind of connection because I didn't see it as like a friendship thing. Like, I know Michelle mentioned, this date really brought him out of that for her and brought him into the like romantic connection. I just think it's a different kind of connection. It's not, to me, it doesn't seem like the kind of connection that she has with like, say, Nate or someone where we like really haven't seen that much of them, but they just seem to instantly kind of like get each other somehow.
Yeah.
But this seems like a different one where it's like maybe it wasn't like that completely, but a lot of my friends who are in like long-term relationships that are or like marriages or anything like started out as friends. And like I think that kind of like seems like this kind of vibe where they're like maybe it's not like that instant whatever, but they're like friends and then the date
Yeah.
portion you see that kind of connection start. And I don't know, I think he could make it far. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you, Hannah. I think that there is something to say about being friends with somebody first. I mean, a lot of my friends and even myself with my husband, I mean, you had to have that friendship portion really together with that, with that individual in order to marry them and make it a forever thing because the initial attraction and it, like sometimes that animal instinct, that type of attraction can fizzle out so fast, and you kind of have to have that portion, so sometimes having it, even though I think maybe society wise, like people don't necessarily see that on TV too much. You always kind of want to see the attraction. You're always like, oh no, that's not the person because I don't see the spark, and there's like so many different types of sparks, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Was there anything else about like Nate, not Nate. Ooh, why did I say Nate? I got someone on the mind. Rodney. I mean, I think we pretty much kind of covered his. We can go into. I think what my favorite like date was this last group date because I really enjoyed it, and I'll tell you this. I saw Brandon in a whole new light. I mean, I always thought he was cute, but I felt when he was talking to Michelle, I felt something. Was it just me?
No, it was like magical. The words coming out of his mouth, I was like, oh my God. Like some of them are really like cute and corny and all of that, but I was like, wow, you are like a man of words. Like I don't even know what to say. When I was like when Michelle said wow, I was like, yeah, that's like the only real reaction to this. It's just like, whoa. I wouldn't even know like how to react to this in real life.
Yeah. And I think it definitely like matured him in a lot of people's eyes because he looks so young. So that was nice to see.
I forget who was Deborah says, I wish we could have seen more of Chris G's poem. Was he the white boy?
Yeah.
I think he was the one that was excited about the spoken word artist who was
He-
there. Like,
yes.
Wait,
he
I
obviously
saw-
knew who that was.
And I saw people clowning him on Twitter, but here's the thing. I think anyone would have a similar reaction if you met someone that you look up to and you're just completely surprised by it. In a situation like that where you're like, that's the last thing you expect. And like if I'm going on The Bachelor and then all of a sudden freaking Frank Ocean shows up, I would be acting the exact same way. So I saw people clowning him on Twitter, but it's like, put yourself in that situation. Like someone that you clearly look up to in a hobby that isn't that common, like that's cool.
I think it's kind of sweet. Like, he's a man who has interests outside of like maybe the norm, and
Yeah,
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was weird or anything. I was like, this is cute. He's excited about. Most of the time, I don't know who the hell the people they bring on there are. So I was like, this is cute. He actually knows who they are.
No, and that's how I said, I was like, his poem was actually very, very good. And it was, you could tell that he's in that that arena of spoken word, because the way that he even delivered the poem was that of a spoken word artist, or someone who actually goes to a lot of these poetry slams. You know, I used to go to them a lot in college, you know, that used to be kind of the thing. So I was like, oh, okay, this guy has like it, he has the rhythm to it, because there's like a specific, you know, there's like that rhythm that you have. What
I
did
feel
you
so bad they didn't show him though. Like,
I
the whole thing.
know.
I was like, wow, I bet he's watching at home. I bet he's like, wait, this is it. Like, this is my moment. And then they don't show it.
Yeah, because it's like his thing. So
But the
I'm
little
so
part
sad.
that they, yeah, but the little part that they did show was actually really good. I thought. What did you all think of Jamie? I was kind of laughing when someone said he was a what he's
Cult
talking
leader.
It'd be like a cult
like
leader.
a cult.
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, oh no, not a cult leader.
I think it was
Yeah.
really pompous of him to like completely ignore what the task was, and you lost your journal. Like, I don't know. He just
How do you lose your journal? Like, I mean, it seemed like that would be something that would just be right next to you. How are you going to lose? How are you going to lose this?
he's just I don't even know. I don't even know. Like, I feel like he clearly thinks he has it in the bag, and like he's like, I'll do whatever I want just to show like another side of myself, when it's like that's not what you were asked to do. So
But it wasn't like a good side. It wasn't like the challenge was something goofy and you decide that you're going to be like serious and be emotional or whatever, which would be like maybe a good thing. Like, maybe you show like a intricate side of, like, a more intense side of you. You're like doing the opposite.
yeah.
And I just feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's good on these like group dates to like, you know, you see sometimes it pays off to like do something different or whatever. But in this instance, I was like, I don't really understand the logic behind this. Like, I think you did it on purpose. I just can't figure out why.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was just to piss the other guys off. Like, I think that's the sole purpose of it, was just to like cause a problem.
Yeah, I think that also it's interesting, and maybe it was just really good editing on ABC's end, but
Don't give him too much credit.
it like all pieced together for me from like the very first episode to last week's episode to this episode. It was like, wow, he is definitely there for the absolute wrong reasons, and he's such a pompous ass. Just you could tell that it was just like, well, I don't care, because I mean, I'm confident that I got this in the bag. I don't need, you know, to I don't need rules. I don't this is mine to, you know, to win.
And you
Yeah.
can even see it when Brandon got the group date rose, how like right before Brandon was given the rose, how confident Jamie looked. And then after Brandon was given the rose, like he's talking to someone off camera I mean, these producers and these hidden cameras these days, but like he's talking to someone off camera, probably like a PA or something, saying like, I'm competing with Brandon, like these guys are down here and I'm up here, and like Michelle's on spring break mode. She's on spring break, and it's like, hell yeah, this is spring break. Like this is the point. This is her last chance to date around before
Yeah.
she settles down. Like that's the point of the show. That's the goal. But he
No,
made it
we literally,
easy.
yeah, and we talked about this in our group message. Like, tell us you are a slut shamer without telling us you're a slut shamer. Like, what the hell did you think this show was? You're in like week 3. This is crazy for you to be mad. And she's like, not that it even matters, but she's not even like super touchy. She's not even super anything like with these people on these dates and stuff like that. I feel like she's very respectful, like the process or whatever. Like she can do whatever the hell she wants, but it's not even like anything triggered this like
Yeah.
emotion. He's just like saying this out of nowhere. And it's
Yeah.
so weird to me. Like his view of her, I think, says a lot about him. It's just like very odd the way he views her and like his role in this process as much more important than it actually is.
Yeah. To me, it was so much more of a show me you only watched Claire's season without telling me you only watched Claire's season. You know, I feel like, dude, do you even watch The Bachelorette? I'm sure that the only thing you were given was Claire and how she was enamored with Dale. And
yeah, and how did that
and,
work out?
Yeah, and that every and that every bachelorette has the opportunity to just say, okay, I choose you. Nobody else is going to get any more time. You know, nobody else is going to get a chance. Like you are that full of yourself that you wouldn't think that she would want to speak to absolutely anybody else. I'm so glad he's gone. My God, that was just... I mean, that was like, thank God, because they really could have. I feel like they could have dragged him. They could have dragged him way longer. Maybe they wanted to drag him longer. Maybe they were. I don't even know. I feel like that there was this air about him. The fact that he felt comfortable to just look at a producer and say, "Let's have a talk," and the talk is you bashing the Bachelorette.
And the Bachelor casting process. Like he said at some point, like, the guys that they brought here are like not even in my league. I thought it was gonna be a better group of guys, but like he was like bashing the casting process to someone who's part of production. Like, okay.
It's so weird to
Even I
me
didn't do
that
that.
I don't understand how these people are so stupid. Like, truly, I know that they have to cast stupid people because they make good TV, but like, how are you so stupid to talk to a production assistant and not think that it is being recorded and not think that they like are going to use this? Like, I just don't. I don't feel bad for you in these moments. Like I feel bad for people when like it's clear that maybe like the whole side of something isn't shown or whatever, but like when it's something that's this straight up, I'm just like, you're an idiot. You know, this is your own fault that you're in this situation. You weren't prompted to say this. Like you're just chilling with a PA and talking shit, which is just a weird thing to be doing in the first place. And you're like not only talking about these guys, you're talking about the lead who is like miles ahead of you in all aspects. And it just, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was very odd. And I think whatever criticism he gets from this is from this episode is warranted because this was.
You know what though? I agree with Erica because he said, "Who's doing the casting?" I thought these were supposed to be some of the best bachelors in the world, and I was like, "Yeah, why did they cast you?" I was just thinking the same exact thing. I was like, and yet they cast you out of all of these people. I mean, I'm sure it. I'm very curious to know what he knows about The Bachelor in general, because for him to just last week, for him to just casually put out the information that, that he was talking to his boy, or that his boy saw Michelle with some light-skinned baller, and like that, where that came from absolutely nowhere. It's like, what kind of, like, where are you going with all of this information? What was your purpose?
He has his comments turned off on his Instagram.
Does
That's
he?
probably smart. Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
a good decision.
I'm wondering if he knew. Like, do you think that these men come on here specifically to be the villain, or he's just that he lacks that much self-awareness?
I think he knew that this episode was coming. Like, I think he knew when he went home, and he knew that, it wasn't going to look good. I'm wondering if there's some sort of support group for people like Jaime and Brendan and whoever else may fall into that category of needing to keep their comments turned off. Like, is there an emotional support group for them? I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I feel like,
Yeah, do you think they make, like, group messages of, like, with each other, and they're like, "Yeah, I got some fish DM today, like, what did you get?" Like, what
I'm
is the worst
sure
situation to you?
I'm sure if there are men on the season that shall not be named who go onto other people's, IGs and say, "Hey, I'm going through the same thing. How are you dealing with it?" There has to be some type of, like, Bachelorette dickhead support group that is,
what are you referencing, Jessica? The people want to know.
I'm just saying there are, people
What
from
are you
past.
saying?
What I'm saying is that I know for a fact that there are past house guests. If you don't know what a house guest is, that's fine. But I'm just saying there are past house guests that have gone into other house guests' DMs and have asked them for advice on how to deal with. Would you consider them trolls? Because at this point, it's just kind of like a mirror showing you what you're like.
I do think that the Bachelorette world has a unique group of not I think trolls, like, I think there's a difference between the people who maybe comment and say things like, God, I personally have never been someone to DM a reality TV contestant and be like, "Hey, screw you. You should go fall in a hole and whatever." Like, I don't think that is necessary. I would just like to comment on it on my own personal time. But, like, I do think that there are people who, like, take it to another level that isn't necessary, but, that I would say are, like, trolls. But, yeah, I think the majority of the people who just, like, comment and are like, "See you later," whatever, on their Instagram, that's not to me, that's not a troll. I don't know. I don't really know
No,
what the true
I could
definition is.
I can just imagine the group text being like, "Here's the name of my PR manager."
I think that these people go like, I don't think like, there probably are some people who go in and are like, "I'm gonna be the bad guy, like, I'm gonna be the villain." But I think a lot of times these dudes go in and are just, like, dumb to the process, and then
Absolutely.
the producers are like, you would be a great fit for this role," and then, like, have them play it up. Like, I don't even know if some of them realize they're the villain until, like, halfway through. Like, this guy obviously knew he is playing the villain role early on. But I feel like you can tell when somebody's, like, very unaware that they are the villain until after the fact, and
You think that Jaime knew that he's the villain?
Yes, I
I
think
feel
he
like
absolutely did.
I feel like Peter knew that he was the villain, but I feel like Jaime, maybe I just don't see it, but I feel like Jaime just thinks very highly of himself, and he's very arrogant, And I feel like it's like some women are like this, but I feel like it's something that's also very unique to men, that when they have this like inflated this inflated sense of self-worth, like they have to let other people know. Like they have to tell you how great they are. They have, like, it's not just that they know they're amazing. You now have to hear it from them how much better they are than everyone else. And they don't realize how terribly that comes across. And I don't know. I feel like he doesn't know that I feel like he didn't know that he was a villain. Like, I feel like he knew he did some shady stuff, but I don't think, to me, it didn't come across like he realized like the extent of like his narcissism, kind of.
I'm what like I guess I mean because this is a good transition to what happened later on because being I know he said, did Jessica just say that, like who said what, but because we weren't there yet, but it was during the group date that Rick had a conversation with Michelle, and Michelle told Rick that it was Jaime who was the whistleblower. And I call it the whistleblower. He was the whistleblower. I don't know. He was the one who basically told, Michelle that there were people talking about her, which in turn was just him. How do we feel about the way I have some choice words for this man, but how do we feel he handled this? Because this was my secondhand embarrassment that was just like, I can't with this guy. I'm embarrassed for you. I'm so
Who?
embarrassed for you. For Jaime, like when he was being confronted by Nate, when he was confronted by the rest of the men about why he chose to say these things to Michelle.
Listen, I feel like Nate handled that so well. Like, I feel like Nate just like won everyone's heart. Like, if you look up Zaddy in the dictionary, like there's gonna be a sketch of a 6'8" light-skinned man with a dangly earring just there next to the definition. Oluwa Nate, or whatever his name is. Like, yes, absolutely. Period. Listen, when he said, when Jaime said, like, well, you never know what the viewers are gonna think. Nate said, "Fuck the viewers." I was like, I know that's right.
Ooh,
I loved that. Oh my God. He was like, who
thank you.
cares? Why are you
He's like,
talking about this?
yes, he's like, why are we talking about episodes? Why are we talking about episodes? I was like, yes, Nate, tell him. Why are you talking about the episodes? He's trying to break the third wall.
I mean, Jaime was doing the absolute most, and then I swear to God, like when Michelle confronted him in front of everyone about it, the attempts. Oh my God. Okay, let's let you guys in on a little bit of tea. During Jessica's season of the lesser known Survivor, when I left from the island, I was talking to someone in the powers that may be, and like we were talking about postseason, et cetera, and they asked, well, what if someone says this? And I told them, I dated so many men in my life that attempts at gaslighting just don't work on me. Like, there's no attempting to gaslight someone like me. I'm very strong. And I feel like that is exactly, like, I felt like I was having an out of body experience watching Jaime attempt to gaslight Michelle, saying like, yeah, it wasn't, like, talking in circles, like, oh, it wasn't the um the what was actually said, but the potential of what could have been said should something have been said. Shut the fuck up. Like, and you're literally trying to walk around what you literally said to her. Like, you had this conversation with each other. It's not like she heard that you said something. You came to her and started talking out of nowhere, and now you're trying to backpedal and like reframe what you said. That's gaslighting. Like, you're trying to completely manufacture a scenario and flip it. Like she didn't actually like listen to what you said. Like it was driving me insane. It was driving me nuts. But yes.
I think he obviously had no idea that they were going to confront him because his answers were shit. Like, his answers made no sense. The whole time, I was just like, and so were all the other guys, and it was just so obvious. Like, it's so obvious when you are lying because you don't have like a clear answer to any of these questions. Like, if you're telling the truth, you can just state the facts and be like, XYZ, this is what was said, and be done with it. But when you have to like fumble over your words and your thoughts in that way, like, it's obvious that you're not telling the truth about something.
Yeah.
Like, everyone can see that, even the people who weren't there for those conversations. And even like when Michelle is listening to it, she's like, all right, you're like, I mean, he's had that whole one tangent where he's talking about the like you said, the potential of whatever. And you can just see the switch in her mind then where she's like, all this shit was over the potential of someone saying something. Like, I was this upset because you decided that like you needed to proactively make sure that no one said anything. Like, why in the world was this even what?
And I was more, I was, yeah.
Oh my God, I cannot, like,
I was more upset. And yeah, it, as Gregory said, like, so weird because it's not like Michelle. You're right. Michelle didn't even go into it saying like, okay, what's the deal? He had a rose. He was good. He started it for no reason. And one of the things that I really wanted Michelle to say was during that, and I know that she was probably taken aback. She was probably upset, and I'm sure she was trying to compose herself to not like lose her shit, because I know that I probably would not have handled it with the grace that she did. You know, she was very graceful in that moment. But what I wanted her to also say was the fact that she asked him the question. Y'all remember this, right? She asked him the question the past week, where it was like to the point where I'm being disrespected. Like, she said it into the point where she's like, they're talking and I'm being disrespected. And he said, yes.
Yes.
He said,
not
yes.
you could be disrespected. You are currently being disrespected in the house. Like, they already currently have this opinion of you. And so of course she's going to be upset because it's like week 2, which means that in there it's probably like day 9 or 10 or whatever. Like, it's, you know, it's even shorter for them because we're watching it like over a week span.
Right.
And so she's probably like, what the hell? This has only been going on for a week and they already think these like crazy things about me, and like I don't even know 90% of them.
Yeah.
Like, of course she's going to be upset, and none of it was even true at all because most of these men are mature enough that they're like, yeah, I don't really care what she was doing before. Either way, like, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. The fact that he even had to go and be like, what's the question? You know, I was like, what do you mean? What's the question? They asked you like 5 billion times, like, what was the speculation that was happening inside the house? What's the question? Like, dude.
Yeah, he was definitely caught off guard, which I love that. Thank God he didn't have any sort of heads up to come up with some like half-ass answer or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, like, that, I'm glad that she, you know, that she was able to walk him out. I'm happy that she did not give him a hug. I'm happy that the men, I mean, Peter, being like the nosy ass man that he was, just like walked up and he's like, oh, she's walking, oh, he's doing this, oh, I'm like, this dude just here just to stir shit up, like, honestly.
Okay, here's the thing. This is why I think that he knew that he was the villain. It's because of the way that he leaves. I feel like if you are like truly like, I think he does have, like, narcissistic tendencies and, like, does have, like, just a bad personality, like, I think I just don't like him, but I think if you're, like, truly a narcissist, obviously, this is not coming from somebody who is, like, a psychologist or whatever, but, like, the way he leaves, he's just kinda like, "Alright, I've been caught," you know? Like, I was the bad guy, and I've been caught in this situation, and, like, it is what it is, like, he didn't fight about it or whatever, and he's just gone. Whereas I feel like we've seen other men on this show who, like, I would say I feel like we can, like, collectively be like, you're a narcissist," and they're, like, fighting. There's lots of examples on this show, but they're fighting to the death, to the end, to be like, "No, this is what I think, and this is why I'm right, and this is why everyone else is, like, completely wrong, and you just don't understand." Whereas in this situation, I feel like he's just like, "Eh, they caught me. Bye." Like,
Yeah.
does that make sense? I don't know.
He had nothing else to say. Like, I w- I was just mad that he's like that he didn't leave and say anything to the sense of just apologizing
Oh
for
yeah,
the
guys.
miscommunication. Yeah. Like, so I'm sorry if there was a miscommunication, wish you like nothing of
He's
the
not sorry.
sort. He's not. It was,
He
it
wasn't
was,
sorry. He wasn't sorry, obviously. He wasn't gonna tell anybody until he got caught. Like, he wasn't interested in I think he would've continued on. Like, I think if he'd stayed in, he would've made some other crap up and been like, "Oh, well, the house is saying this." Like, I think that's what would've happened, and he would've kept on going until he got caught. But, like, because of the group of guys that are there, it didn't continue on any further.
yeah.
Hey,
Big up
Busy.
to Busy. Big ups to Busy Blue. He left because he's like he doesn't want to be spoiled with this episode. He hasn't watched it yet. So big shout out to Busy. Erica says Jamie gives me Luke P vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I agree. I agree with that.
Mhm.
And someone says, Kaylin says, I demand more Leroy time. Yeah. See, I already forgot who
Who's
Leroy
Leroy?
was. Maybe that's why Caitlin wants more Leroy airtime. Where is it? I'm trying to remember. Do you remember?
Hold on.
Leroy's like the dark skin, one of the dark skin guys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, he's the one who gave, Michelle was it jewelry or what was it from Ghana, I think? And he was like, "This is"
Oh
what
yeah.
The scarf for the
The
Yeah,
kente
for
cloth.
what, Kimmy?
The kente cloth.
oh, it was the
Yes,
Kente cloth.
Yeah.
that, and it was like yeah, that was sweet. I remember that, but he hasn't had a lot of screen time at all. I do
Yeah, a
think it's
lot of them haven't.
interesting watching this, like, Clayton storyline
I was just about
start
to
up
say, Erica T just
because
said like they're giving Clayton way too. He got a lot of screen time tonight, and for what? Like it contributed nothing to the episode at all.
yeah, and I feel like it's so obvious because, like, we know now, like, why, like, because he's am I supposed to say? Like, can
No,
I
I
feel
think
like
we
this is
said
wrong.
it. I
Yeah, we
think
said it in the
we
last
did say
one.
it in the last one, but if I feel like if we haven't, will just do the disclaimer right now. Like whatever we say as of right now, it's probably going to be more so spoilers. If
Yeah,
you
we've
don't
basically
know,
covered the episode,
yeah, I think
so
we've basically covered pretty much the whole episode with just a couple of other things. So this
He was also
disclaimer.
on Good Morning America. Like it's not a spoiler anymore.
Oh, I guess
yeah.
not. Yeah, he was on just. Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, Clayton's the next Bachelor, and I don't understand this. It's so interesting watching this because if like I didn't know that, I'd be like, why is he getting so much time? Like we're getting all his
yeah.
interviews, but he's not having like really any time with Michelle at all. Like where is this coming from? I
Yeah.
don't know.
And even the
Yeah.
times they do have together, like I guess you can see like some sort of connection, but I think it's just because Michelle's personable, not like it's not like she has with like clearly the two front runners are Joe and Nate. Like
Mhm.
there's no way she ends up with anyone else. I wonder who she's gonna end up with.
I
I'm not
thought maybe I feel like Brandon has a good a good run. I think
And
he's gonna be
Rodney.
and Rodney. I think Brandon's gonna be
Oh yeah.
top 4. I think he gets a home. I think he gets a home visit. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
After tonight, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Caitlin says, Kemi, that Nate's in the middle of that picture that you showed us.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. We totally get that.
No, he seems sweet. We just haven't seen a whole lot of him. So yeah, more screen time. Maybe we'll get it.
I do think I don't know how many of you guys follow me on Instagram, but I threw up a poll today, which I am in the true column with that was basically asking if we have a first date and I don't want to see you in less than 24 hours, then it more than likely isn't going to happen between us. I feel like a lot of women are when you know sort of women. And that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like it has to be between Nate and Joe, because the instant chemistry with Nate and then the shared like passion in life that she has with Joe, and then they, both hit it off, both couples hit it off instantly. Like, there's no way, because I feel like when you have to build towards something, like, I do understand the friendship aspect of it for sure. Absolutely. I agree with that. But I do think that Michelle seems to be, like myself, one of those women who, you need that, like, spark.
Yeah, I think the show definitely warrants, like, it favors more of that kind of spark relationship, because you just don't have the time to like build up something. Like, whereas, if she ran into somebody like Rodney or whoever, at a bar or at a restaurant. Huh?
Y'all love Rodney.
I think he is so cute. I followed him on Instagram. He's got like 2,000 followers, and I followed him. I'm gonna be an OG. I adore him so far. Like, hopefully he doesn't ruin it and do some crazy shit, but I like him so far. But
I don't think they will.
Regardless, if she met him in real life in like a normal situation, then I think that could like work out better. But in this kind of thing, you don't have a lot of time, so those like instant spark connections are like normally what takes you to the end. So we'll
No,
see.
absolutely. I know Erica said Michael A is rumored to be the Bachelor after Clayton. This is what I don't understand. I really don't understand why they would have someone from a previous season.
Who's Michael?
Okay, so Michael, let me see. So Michael A was
Michael A. Is that his last name?
Yeah, he was on Katie's season.
You know who he is.
And
He's the
yes, I'm
dad.
going to show you a picture. I'm going to show you a picture for those of you who do not know who this is.
I didn't watch
I wish I could. There we go. He is from Katie's season, and he had a really good backstory. He had a wife. He's a widower. And so this was coming into Katie's season. It was like the first time coming into just like a relationship in general, kind of throwing himself back into like the mix of things. So
I like him a lot.
Yeah, but if that were the case, then he should have been the first Bachelor, not Clayton. I don't know who, what, when, where. That isn't going to really make a splash. Clayton's already getting Colton Underwood vibes, and if you're getting Colton Underwood vibes, that's not a good thing.
Maybe they'll end up doing what they did with Katie and Michelle, and Clayton will kind of be like a throwaway season, and then they'll save all the or did I say Colton?
Clayton. No, you said.
Okay,
you said Clayton.
Clayton will be the throwaway season, and then Michael will have like all the glam and like va-va-voom of like a Michelle season.
I don't think it's smart for them to do that.
I don't
I think they're like only ruining like they're ruining the magic of the show by doing these seasons that aren't like, like that are these like throwaway seasons. Like part of it's just like the whole aura of the show, like what we saw with Katie's, like all of Katie's promotion stuff. Like, Hannah Brown and Tasha and like other ones, they get these like beautiful intro packages and like gowns and all this stuff. And it just like, it adds to like being the Bachelorette. Like it's like a thing, you're
Yeah.
up on this podium. Whereas like with Katie's, it's just like they like just I feel like they just treated her like she's just a regular girl, which is like fine, but who cares to watch a show about just a regular girl? You're watching the show about the Bachelorette. And like when you do these throwaway seasons where it doesn't feel like it's special, then people aren't invested in it. I just don't.
Yeah,
I
and
feel like you
so many-
lose the like excitement of the show, especially when you're doing these back-to-back seasons, like they're talking about how they're going to do. It's just not special.
I agree with
Who are
that.
they competing with is my question. Like who, there has to be something going on that they feel like there's another show that maybe they're rivaling with, that they feel like they need to make sure that they maintain their audience. I don't know, like the only other show that I could think of that might be in that running would be like maybe Love Island, but that doesn't even come on until the summer. So
It's so different though. And I feel like their only competition at this point is themselves. Like if they just like stop screwing themselves over and just like do what people like.
maybe Love is Blind, because streaming is like the thing right now, and Love is Blind should be coming back soon, right?
But that's
Maybe, I don't know.
all bingeable stuff that you can watch like on Netflix,
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I don't,
their competition is going to be things that are on like cable, on like live
yeah.
TV happening at like the same time of the year and in the same type of like time slot television.
Yeah.
They're not competing with shows on Netflix or shows that are coming on at like midnight. It's going to be something that's in that same realm of them. And so like to me it's just, I feel like they're just trying to change things just for the sake of changing things, and like it was working pretty well. Like we just wanted diversity. Like we didn't want you to change the whole format of the fucking show. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like too much now. Now you're right when you said you're just competing against yourselves, because what are you doing now? Now people thought we were going to be watching Bachelorette on Mondays, and now you just competed against your own damn show because people are watching Dancing with the Stars. Like it makes no sense.
I hate that it's not on Monday. It makes me so mad. Like every Monday it gets to be like 7:00 and I'm like, oh, I gotta get ready. 8:00, it's gonna come on. And then I turn on the TV and it's not that. Because it's been on Mondays for like 20 years. I just don't understand why they do this. I don't know.
They can't do that with something. I mean, it's part of their brand loyalty. Like that's what you look forward to. Your Mondays is like that's what we've been used to, is watching it on Mondays. And
it's like having football on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You start off the week doing this. It's like a thing all throughout
and
high
you're
school
competing.
and college. You have like people come over and you watch it together. It's like you start off your week doing this, and then for it to be on a Tuesday, it's just wrong. I don't know.
Because we're kind of in this like weird season too, you're also competing with Monday Night Football. Like, and so it's just like so off. But I mean, I agree with you. Before we go into our next segment, I want to make sure, hey, y'all, if you didn't already, click like, subscribe, click to receive the notifications, share this with people that you know either watch The Bachelorette, or even if they don't watch The Bachelorette, I feel like you don't even have to watch. I know that we have a couple people who are watching us that are not even watching the season. I don't know why. It's a good season. We just gave this episode an 8-9 out of a 10, y'all.
It's a good season.
It's a good season. And we're only on episode 3. It's a very quick 6 hours to catch up. But I can't stress it enough. So what we're gonna do, for those of you who know what we do here at Girl Let's Agree to Disagree, we are going into our agree or disagree segment. Okay, so the way this segment works, for those of you all who are just joining us, agree to disagree is when we, as co-hosts, say a statement and we either agree or disagree on that statement. You all can join in the comments as well. Thumbs up for agree, thumbs down for disagree. We do it at 3. Who would like to start? And if you have a comment that you would like to let us know, we will be able to pick some from the chat.
I'll go first. So, agree or disagree, Rodney has successfully taken himself out of the friend zone.
Okay. Agree or disagree, Rodney has successfully taken himself out of the friend zone on 3. Agree or disagree. 1, 2, 3. Hannah's like, what?
You know what? I don't know that he is her soulmate, but I don't think he's in the friend zone. And my statement is going to be about him too. So
I think that he's going to be a long-term friend for her. Like, I think whoever she ends up with after the season, I think Rodney is someone who's probably still going to be in their lives, even if it's just at a friendship capacity. I want to be friends with Rodney.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I want to be friends with Rodney too. I want to be friends with Rodney in the same way I want to be friends with Pardeep. Like I just think
Pardeep
it was
cute too. What the hell are you talking about?
He was cute, but obviously Michelle sent him home, so that's why I'm saying, like, I think I don't know. I think she's really nice, and I think she gave him a rose because she's like, I think it could work. But I think that no, maybe it's because I see how she looks at Nate. I see how she looks at Brandon. I see how she looks at Joe. And I don't know. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Instagram.
Huh?
I'll tell you.
You're what?
It's Rodney Matthews 02.
Okay, I'm gonna follow him.
Rodney Matthews.
I love
Rodney. Okay. So I have an agree or disagree. Okay, so agree or disagree. We should have seen a Michelle reaction to finding out about Peter throwing Will's jacket in the pool so that Michelle could have walked his ass out. Okay. Is that too much of a thing? I was like, agree or disagree? Like, we should have seen a Michelle reaction to what Peter did with Will's jacket so she could have walked his ass out. Agree or disagree on 1, 2, 3. Oh, hell, come on, ladies. What?
Who cares? That drama is so boring and not interesting at all.
Was that considered boring? Like, I wanted, like, okay, I don't care for Will too much, but I wanted justice for Will. Like, I think that she should have known.
I don't want the casuals to have any reason to dislike Michelle. Like, I don't want her to be placed in a position where, in multiple positions, where she has to, like, bring down the hammer. I just want her to find her person. I want her to, like, climb some mountains along the way, but not fucking Kilimanjaro. Like,
yeah. I think that wouldn't have been anything. I think that I just wanted her I wanted her to know, and knowing the Michelle that I think I know from watching the show, I wanted her to say, this isn't acceptable. This isn't the type of man I want, and I need you to leave. Like, that's what I wanted to see. I did it. Okay, so I got the okay. Like, I was happy that he didn't get a rose and that he left, but I wanted it to be more than that. I wanted her to say, like, you're not, this is unacceptable, like toxic masculinity. This is unacceptable behavior. This isn't what I was looking for, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I get it. I mean, Erica says she didn't want Peter to get any attention, so I get it. I mean, I'm glad that he just kind of like,
Mhm.
and he kind of gives me BB23 Brent vibes a little. I don't know why. Is it the like the New York
Is it 'cause he's
Italian?
Italian?
Is it because he's got that like broy kind of? I don't know. It was the air about him. It was
Maybe it's
really
the
off.
chain.
Huh?
Maybe it's the chain, the gold chain.
I don't know. I'm so glad that that dude is gone. Do you have one, Hannah?
Yes. Rodney
Okay.
makes it to hometowns. Agree or disagree?
Okay. Agree or disagree? Rodney makes it to hometowns. Okay. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
I don't see him making it to hometowns.
I guess we'll just have to see.
What do you all think? Do you all think that that Rodney's gonna make it to hometowns? Let's see if you all oh, see, a lot of people. Okay, wait, where did we go? Okay, someone said B Bean said disagree. Lady B said disagree. Gregory says disagree. Erica says I don't know.
I'll see you guys in
Wow.
like 8 weeks, and I
In
think
8
he's gonna be
weeks.
there.
I
Or
mean,
however
Hannah's.
long it's gonna be.
I will just say, like, Hannah has a very good character. Like, she's very good at a man's
Sussing people
character,
out.
like at
Yeah.
sussing people out. Yeah, I think that although I don't quite see it, Hannah's been right about other guys before, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And if he does, then we're gonna clip this segment and then we're gonna repost it and give Hannah her credit for that. And then so we're just gonna take one more from the group, from the chat. So Erica says, agree or disagree? Chris S is going to be the worst villain of the season.
Is that the one that they're like teasing in the end of the episode? That guy,
Let's
Chris
see.
S.
Who is Chris S?
Yeah, I'm like trying to think who's Chris S. I'm thinking
If you Google it, it just puts up Chris Souls, not that Chris S. This
no.
one right here. You see?
Oh,
He
yeah.
definitely easily has villain vibes for sure. Like he has like hashtag nice guy vibes.
Okay, so agree or disagree? Chris S is going to be the worst villain of the season. Agree or disagree? In 1, 2, 3. Really?
Not Hannah and I being in sync. I think so because first of all, they need a new villain now. They got rid of this episode, and then not him coming for Nate. He's already a villain in my eyes.
He's gonna. I think he's gonna be the main. Like the question was like if he's gonna be the like worst villain of the season.
Yeah.
Like these other villains have only lasted for like 2.5 episodes. So like I think by default, if this one goes on for like a couple of episodes, it's gonna be more like pertinent to the storyline than any of the other ones were, just for the fact that like he's gonna be there longer. And like, Peter is having these problems with Will, who I don't see as a front runner. and I don't see Peter as a front runner. So like I think it's kind of irrelevant. I don't think they're gonna matter. What's his name is already gone. The other evil villain from today is already gone, Jamie. So I think this June, like if he's gonna have these problems with Nate, I think that is gonna be like he's gonna be the main villain of the season because Nate to us and like everyone else is a front runner at this point. So I just think it makes sense that he will be like the top villain of the season. Like I think it's going to be the one that like when you think back on the season, he's the one, the bad guy. Like when you think back on Hannah Brown season, you think of Luke. He's like I couldn't tell you the other guys that had problems. I think of him. Or like JoJo's season, I think of that dude Chad. Like, you know, you still think about the ones and then there's always one stands out. Whereas there's always multiple that have like moments. I think it'll be him.
We shall see. I'm excited. I think so too.
Yeah, I didn't think about like when I saw worst, I was just thinking, oh, I don't know if one can get worse than Jamie at this point because he was just so just immediately. But you're right, he lasted such a short period of time. So I guess next week we'll be able to see all of that. So that's going to be an interesting. I thought to myself, who else is going to give any more drama? Like you got rid of all them, you know, like she's just getting rid of everybody so fast. But it'll be an interesting, yeah, it'll be interesting. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That was the episode in a nutshell. For everybody else, just make sure you click like, subscribe, click to receive those notifications. Make sure you click us, help us out, give us a thumbs up. Also make sure to follow us on,
I love how
IG,
we say that's the episode in a nutshell, but like the episode without commercials is like an hour and 30 minutes, and like our recap is like an hour and 15 minutes. Like it's just like a slightly smaller shell than the one before, but you know.
A smaller nutshell. Yeah, no, you're right. We totally like took a long time in talking about it, but I mean, it was a good episode. We pretty much give you all of our thoughts on this episode. Make sure that we will be doing our Bachelorette recaps every Tuesday per everybody's request. So Tuesdays will be our days. 15 minutes after the episode. Hopefully we won't have like a 3-hour finale. Oh, well, I will eventually have a 3-hour finale, but even during those, we'll do 15 minutes after the episode. So make sure you follow us on IG, on Twitter. All of our handles are at the bottom. Are there any last words, ladies?
Nothing from me.
No, I think we covered everything.
Oh, aside from, I posted a new video to my personal channel today. If you guys want to follow that at Kisses Kemi. I just changed my YouTube name to Kisses Kemi, so I'm feeling very consistent across all platforms now. So, but yes, I just posted one today. If you want to check that out, Kisses Kemi.
Yeah, check out Kisses Kemi. This week, Friday, I will be playing Among Us with some BB Canada alum, as well as Sarah Beth from BB Canada 23. So you can go and follow Bruno. He was on BB Canada 3 and 5, and he's the one who's setting all of that up. It'll be on his Twitch. I don't do Twitch. I'm trying to learn. Do any of you ladies do Twitch?
No.
No, it's so hard. Like I don't have it all together, so I'm trying to figure out how I could probably stream the game through Twitch, but I'm very technically challenged, so it probably won't happen. But yeah, Bruno does that. If not, then we will see you next week. Thank you all so much for being part of the show, for joining us, and we love you guys